Hello, I'm Devonecia Swartz. I'm an actress, a singer, and a writer, and welcome to episode 4 of my 6-part series on how I prepare for a monologue. Now, in this episode, we are dealing with emotional beats and preparing your words or learning your words. Now, what is a beat? It is basically a shift or a disruption to the course of action. It can be physical or emotional. For instance, if there is a knock at the door, that is a physical disruption to your course of action, and so that is a beat. Or it can be emotional or mental. For instance, Iago uses, there are many mental shifts and emotional shifts that he goes through. For instance, he goes from saying, that Cassio loves Desdemona, Desdemona loves Cassio as well, but Othello loves Desdemona, is going to be a good husband. And then he says that he loves Desdemona, which is a shift, because you're like, okay, as the audience, we're going, okay, Iago loves Desdemona, but then he explains what he means by that. He says, I love her too. Not for the reason that you think. It's to die at my revenge. And then we kind of see his plot unravel. But through his plot unraveling, you see that Iago then goes, okay, I want to do this, but how am I going to do this thing? Or like make Othello incredibly jealous. How am I going to do that? Well, I can use Roderigo, and when I use Roderigo, I can use Cassio, and he has these mental shifts in what he is planning on doing. I usually, when I learn lines, I usually actually learn them in beats, because they are thoughts. And so when you read your script, find out the places where the character changes the way that they're thinking, or changes the course in which they are either going to go, or changes their course of thinking, and then you will find your beats. Then using tempo, volume, your intensity to drive emotion is incredibly important. These are beautiful tools that you have at your disposal to be able to drive your emotion. If you are on one tempo, one intensity, one volume constantly, nobody wants to listen to that, firstly, and it's incredibly boring for you, for us. So put us out of our misery and use these tools creatively to drive the emotion. Also, do not be afraid to pause. Don't be afraid to take your time, to breathe, to use your pauses, because in those pauses, that's where the beautiful, juicy things are happening, where the cogs are, turning, and things are, and as the audience, we get to watch that, and that's so exciting when we get, we get to see this character go through all of these emotional things. And that can happen during a pause. We can see those steps in pauses. So words are important, but pauses are just as important. Then, when learning lines, firstly, how I learn lines, I repeat them. I repeat them and I repeat them and I repeat them and I repeat them out loud. But firstly, I repeat them by reading them. And then I read them out loud, and then I write them down. I learned this from one of my lecturers. She writes down the words, and until she has written them perfectly, she knows she doesn't know her words yet. She writes down the lines until she has written them perfectly, and then she's like, cool, I believe that they are in my head, and I believe that they are there now. And so I also do that, because it's kind of, it's kind of the only way that I can truly know that I know my lines. But knowing them on such a cellular level, in your body, basically a part of your fiber, is so important, because it makes it so much more fun as the actor, because now you can just believe that the character knows what they have to say because it is in your body. So know your lines. Muscle memory is key and incredible. However, then falling into the trap, the beauty of having such a good memory is that you could fall into the trap of just running through the motions and doing the same regular speech patterns. So when you get into the point where you know your lines so well, break your speech patterns, break those, even sometimes the thought patterns, because you might get stuck in a rut and then it's not fun anymore. Now you're just going through the motions. But if you can discover new things, new ways of saying things, it can be an electric performance. So I hope you guys learned some beautiful things from this episode. Please stay tuned or come back and watch on my next episode, in which I speak about rehearsal and the preparation, the technical things, the technical preparation for your actual performance or for your actual recording. I'm so excited to see you next time, and stay tuned.